there, my name is Jamie Venezia from MMRA. We're here to show you another how-to video on how to change the oil in the crankcase and the gearbox of your Honda 120 engine. So a few things that you'll need to change the oil is a simple drain pan. You'll need a 10 millimeter wrench for the drain plug, a measuring cup, and some oil. I would suggest contacting your engine builder to find out what they suggest for you to run in whichever engine that you do run. So engine oil, the amounts that you're going to need here. So for your gearbox, in both my Hondas, Animals, and World Formula, I run 4 ounces of oil in the gearbox. And then in the crankcase, in the Honda 120s and the 160s, I run 13 ounces of oil. And in my Animals and World Formula, I run 16 ounces of oil. But again, I would call your engine builder and verify what capacity that they want you to use in the gearbox and crankcase. So the other thing we want to discuss here before we start changing the oil is the frequency at which you want to change it. So for my Honda 120s, I typically change it about every 3 races. The other consideration that you need to take into effect is if you go and practice. So typically if you go practice, run at least 100 laps, I would consider 100 laps or so at least one race day. So if you go practice and then run 2 races, I would consider that the 3 races in order to change the oil. And then again, the gearbox I run all year. So let's get started. All right, we're all set to change the oil in the crankcase and in the gearbox here. So the first thing we're going to do is, actually we're going to take it off the block. We're going to tip it up here so hopefully you can see better. This is a drain plug. There's one in the front of a Honda 120, and then there's also one in the back. Just to reiterate again, we have the engine out of the car just for ease of demonstration here. So this is a 10 millimeter bolt. So we're going to break it loose. We're going to take the drain plug out. Right, drain plug's out. We're going to get our drain pan here. Pick up the engine. Drain the old engine oil out. Okay, we're empty. We're going to get the drain plug and put it back in. Okay, you want to make sure that you tighten this up pretty good. Last thing you want to do is have any your plug come out and lose all your oil. So the next we're going to do here is we're going to drain the gearbox. It's a 12 millimeter wrench. Break it loose. Take it out. Now nothing should drain out until you tip the engine over. Now there is a washer on there, so be careful of that. So again, we're going to pick up the engine and we're going to drain that oil out. So there should be 4 ounces of oil in the gearbox and 13 ounces of oil in the crankcase. Okay, we're empty there. All right, we're going to put the drain plug back in and tighten it up. So snug it up by hand. Get your 12 millimeter wrench. Make it snug. Now we're going to take the fill plug off of the gearbox. Okay, we're just going to leave that set up there for right now. So we have our funnel now. So the gearbox we're going to fill with 4 ounces of oil. We're going to put the same oil in the gearbox as we are the crankcase. Again, just a reminder, talk to your engine builder. Find out what they suggest to use for engine oil. So you can get a small funnel for this, or just be very careful at pouring it in. I'm pouring in slow, or it will kind of overflow on you a little bit there. That little bit of drainage I wouldn't worry about. It'll be very close to 4 ounces in there. Okay. Put the drain plug back in. And again, snug this up well. Now we're going to measure out 13 ounces of oil for the crankcase. If your measuring cup doesn't have 13 ounces on it, you just, close estimation is good. So when I have the engine out of the car, normally what I do is I tip it on its back, take the fill plug, or where you check the level, tip the engine up, and then again, just be very careful when you're pouring the oil in. Good to the last drop. Okay. So we're just gonna wipe that off. Now be careful not to tip the engine over at this point. Some of the engine oil will come out. Then you want to snug your cap up pretty tight. Okay. And your engine oil and gearbox oil are both changed. Oh, the frequency that you should change your oil. For the Honda engines, it's typically every 3 race days. So for instance, if you do go out to the track and practice and put 100, 150 laps on a motor, you would probably want to consider that a race day. For your Briggs animal, I normally change the oil on my animals about every 2 races. Some people do it every race. And then my World Formula, I do change that oil every time we leave the racetrack. So, yeah, I think that's all we have for today. Oh. The gearbox. Typically, gearboxes, I put fresh oil in at the beginning of the season, and that should be good for the entire season. We hope this video helped you out today. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, and give us any comments, either good or bad, that can help us out for future videos. Good luck racing and have fun.